Okay, just a quick video on some more complicated patterns. This is actually question 1 on page 139, exercise 4. So that's the work that was actually set last week. So I'm just going to talk you through this. Okay, so part A, draw the 4th pattern. So you can see here we've got the first 3 patterns, so all we're being asked to do is draw the 4th one. Doesn't have to be the best diagram in the world, as long as it's actually correct. Okay, and that would be the 4th pattern in the sequence. Okay, moving on to the actual table. So we can actually fill in the first 4 columns, or the first 2 missing entries in the table using the diagram. So you can see when we've got 1 square, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 matches. So that's why in that column you've got 1 square requiring 4 matches. The next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 squares requires 7 matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we could say, so I think that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, so we could count that and say that's 10. And we could do the same, count the number of matches, and we would get 13. As I said in my last video when we were doing more basic patterns, it's important to notice the jump along the bottom. So hopefully you can see that I am going up in 3s. And that initially allows me to complete the rest of the table, so 16, 19. But it also feeds in to the formula, which we're going to see on question 1D. Okay, so next question, for every extra square, how many extra matches I need to build? That's just a jump along the bottom. For every extra square that we drew, we need another 3 matches. Okay, moving on to the formula. Now, as I've said before, the formula follows a set rule. You always start with the letter on the bottom first. So it's M, which is the number of matches, equals. Then it's the jumps, so you'll see that we're going up in 3s. So it's 3 times the letter on the top, and the letter on the top is S. So it's 3 times S. Okay. If that was going along in 4s, it would be 4 times S. If it was going along in 5s, it would be 5 times S, so on and so forth. What we're actually saying there is M is 3 times S. So let's see if that works. The first one we've got S is 1. If I multiply that by 3, I don't get 4. I get 3. So what do I need to add on to get up to 4? Well, I need to add on 1. Now, if that's correct, that formula is correct, it should work for every single column in the table. So 2 times 3 is 6, add on 1 is 7. It does work. 3 times 3 is 9, add on 1 is 10, 3 times 4 is 12, add on 1 is 13, 5 times 3 is 15, add on 1 is 16, 6 times 3 is 18, 18, add on 1 is 19. So it works for every single column, so I know that that's the correct formula. Okay, the next bit, it says if you have 10 squares, how many matches do you need? Well, that's why we got the formula. We're being told that the number of squares is 10, so I replace S in my formula with 10. So we get M equals 3, and remember, if the number and the letter are right next to each other, they're multiplying each other, so 3s is 3 times s. So if we replace the s with 10, it becomes 3 times 10, add on 1. Doing that calculation, 3 times 10 is 30, add on 1 is 31. So if I had 10 squares, I would need 31 matches. So we can use the formula to answer some other questions. Okay, same again for the next one. This time it's telling me the number of squares is 25. So again, M equals 3 times 25, add on 1. 3 times 25 is 75, 75 add 1 is 76. So if I had 25 squares, I would need 76 matches. Now, the letter I'm substituting in for ties in with the letter I'm given. So I'm given the number of squares, that's S, so I replace S in my formula with 10. This question here, we're told there's 25 squares. Again, that's telling you what S is in my formula, so I replace S with 25, and that gives me 76. The next one changes slightly. The common mistake is to put 91 in for S, but it's not telling you how many squares you've got here. It's telling you how many matches you've got. So you're not going to replace S with 91, you're going to replace M with 91. So we're going to have 91 equals 3S plus 1. Try not to make that mistake of just always substituting into the right hand side of the equal sign. You can substitute on both sides. Okay, so if we know that M is 91 and we want to find S, we just solve this. So again, solving an equation, take away 1 from both sides. So we get 90 equals 3s. Divide both sides by 3. And we get 30 equals s. And we can write that out as s equals 30. So if I had 91 matches, I would need 30 squares.